Drina Martinez sat in her cubicle at the marketing firm in downtown Seattle, scrolling through photos of turquoise waters and white sand beaches on her computer screen. In exactly 3 days, she and her husband of 2 weeks, Marcus, would be boarding a plane to Bora Bora for their dream honeymoon. They'd postponed it for 6 months after their November wedding, saving every extra penny to make it perfect. The resort was booked, the flights were confirmed, and she could practically feel the tropical breeze already. Her phone buzzed. Marcus's mother, Patricia Hayes. "Hi, Patricia, what's up?" Drina answered cheerfully, still admiring a photo of an overwater bungalow. "Drina, sweetheart, I need you to sit down. This is urgent." Patricia's voice carried that trembling quality she used when she wanted something important. "There's been a family emergency." Drina's heart dropped. She immediately minimized the vacation photos. "Oh my God, what happened? Is everyone okay?" "It's complicated. I can't explain everything over the phone, but we need you and Marcus here in Phoenix immediately, this weekend. It's critical that the whole family is together right now." "Phoenix? Patricia, our honeymoon is in 3 days. We're flying to Tahiti on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. There was a long pause. "Drina, this is a family crisis. Surely you understand that family comes first, especially in times like these. Your honeymoon can wait. This cannot."
Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed. Because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you.
Drina's mind raced. Patricia lived in Scottsdale with Marcus's younger sister, Vanessa. Marcus's father had passed away 5 years ago, and since then, Patricia had developed a habit of calling every minor inconvenience a crisis. Last month, she'd declared a family emergency when her car wouldn't start, which turned out to be an empty gas tank. "What exactly is the emergency, Patricia? Is someone in the hospital? Is Vanessa okay?" Well, it's complicated health-wise. I really can't discuss this over the phone. It's too sensitive. But Dr. Morrison said having family support this weekend is absolutely crucial. You know how important family is, Drina. Marcus would never forgive himself if he missed this. Dr. Morrison was Patricia's general practitioner, whom she'd been seeing weekly for various ailments since Marcus's father died. Drina had met him once at a family barbecue, and he'd seemed like a perfectly pleasant doctor who probably regretted ever giving Patricia his cell phone number. "Patricia, we've had this trip planned and paid for since before the wedding. Can't this wait until we get back? We're only going to be gone 10 days. 10 days? Patricia's voice rose an octave. "Drina, I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. When I married Marcus's father, family always came first. Always. We would never have dreamed of putting a vacation before a genuine family crisis. I thought you understood what it meant to be a Hayes." Drina felt her jaw tighten. She'd been a Hayes for exactly 14 days, and this was the 3rd time Patricia had used that phrase to guilt her into something. The first was wearing Patricia's vintage wedding veil that smelled like mothballs and clashed with her dress. The second was serving Patricia's famous tuna casserole at the reception, despite having already hired a caterer. "Let me talk to Marcus," Drina said carefully. "We'll call you back." "Marcus already knows. I texted him an hour ago. He's probably just afraid to tell you because he knows how you get about your plans." How she gets about her plans? Drina felt heat rising to her cheeks. She'd spent months coordinating with Marcus's work schedule, her own vacation days, and their budget to make this honeymoon happen. They chose Bora Bora specifically because it was Patricia's least favorite destination. She'd made that abundantly clear during the wedding planning, suggesting instead they visit her timeshare in Branson, Missouri. "I'll talk to my husband," Drina repeated firmly. "We'll discuss it and get back to you." "Fine. But Drina, Dr. Morrison was very clear. This weekend, not next week, not after your little beach vacation, this weekend. I've already told the whole family you're coming. Vanessa's baking her special brownies. Your cousin-in-law Janet is driving in from Tucson. Everyone's counting on you." The call ended before Drina could respond. She stared at her phone, feeling a familiar knot forming in her stomach. This was Patricia's pattern. Create urgency, apply guilt, mobilize the family, and present the situation as already decided. She immediately called Marcus. "Hey, babe," he answered, and she could hear the tension in his voice. He already knew. "Your mother just called me about a family emergency. What's going on?" Marcus sighed heavily. "She texted me during my morning meeting. She says there's something serious happening and we need to come to Arizona this weekend. That's all I know." "Marcus, our honeymoon is in 3 days. We can't just cancel." I know, but what if it's really serious this time? What if something's actually wrong with her health?" Drina pinched the bridge of her nose. "Did she tell you what specifically is wrong? Any diagnosis? Any actual medical emergency?" "She said Dr. Morrison is involved and that she'll explain everything when we get there. She said it's too complicated for the phone."
Marcus, it's an 8-hour drive to Scottsdale, not 3 hours, and there are no direct flights from Phoenix to Tahiti. We'd have to route through Los Angeles or San Francisco. We'd miss our connection, lose our resort reservation for the first night, and probably end up paying change fees for flights that might not even have availability. Then what do you suggest? Because I can't just ignore her. The question hung in the air between them. Drina knew what she wanted to say. Tell your mother no. Stand up to her manipulation. Choose us for once. But she also knew Marcus well enough to know that if she forced that choice, he'd resent her, wonder what if, and carry guilt throughout whatever remained of their honeymoon. "Call Vanessa," Drina finally said. "Your sister lives with her. She'd know if there was a real emergency." Marcus nodded slowly, pulling out his phone. He put it on speaker as it rang. "Hey, bro," Vanessa answered cheerfully. "What's up?" "Van, Mom called me about a family emergency this weekend. Said we need to come to Phoenix immediately. Do you know what's going on?" There was a pause. Then Vanessa laughed. "Oh my God, she actually did it. She actually called you." Marcus and Drina exchanged glances. "Did what?" Marcus asked carefully. "Marcus, there's no emergency. Mom's throwing her annual pool party this weekend. She wanted you guys here for it and apparently decided to make it sound like life or death to get you to come. I told her it was a terrible idea, but you know, Mom." The words landed like a bomb. Drina felt vindication and fury warring in her chest. Marcus looked like he'd been slapped. "A pool party?" Marcus's voice was barely above a whisper. "Yeah, the one she does every year at the country club. She invited like 50 people. She's been planning it for months. She mentioned wanting you guys there, and when I told her you'd be on your honeymoon, she got all weird about it. I honestly thought she'd let it go. She said Dr. Morrison was involved, that there was a health crisis." Vanessa sighed. "Dr. Morrison is invited to the party. He comes every year. Mom is probably going to corner him about her imaginary gluten sensitivity again." Marcus stood up abruptly, pacing across their small living room. "I can't believe this. She lied. She completely lied." "I'm sorry, Marcus. I should have warned you. I just didn't think she'd actually go through with the fake emergency thing. That's manipulative even for Mom." "We're supposed to leave for our honeymoon in 3 days, Van." "I know, and you absolutely should go. Don't let Mom guilt you into this. She's got plenty of people coming to her party. She doesn't need you there. She just wants you there." After Marcus hung up, he stood in the middle of their living room looking stunned and angry and guilty all at once. Drina waited, letting him process. "I'm so sorry," he finally said, turning to her. "You were right. You were completely right, and I should have believed you." Drina stood up and walked over to him. Despite her anger at Patricia, she could see how much this hurt Marcus, the realization that his mother had lied to manipulate them. "It's not about being right. It's about us being able to trust what she tells us. I'm calling her right now. I'm telling her exactly what I think of this." "Marcus!" But he was already dialing, his jaw set in a way Drina rarely saw. The phone rang once before Patricia answered. "Marcus! Did you talk to Drina? Are you coming?" "Mom, I just spoke to Vanessa."
The silence on the other end was deafening. Mom, is there or is there not a family emergency? Well, Marcus, you have to understand. Yes or no, Mom? Is someone sick? Is someone dying? Is there any medical crisis whatsoever? It's not that simple, Marcus. The family gathering this weekend is crucial for family bonding, and Dr. Morrison did say that family connection is important for mental health. It's your pool party. Another pause. It's not just a pool party, Marcus. It's a family tradition. Your father started it years ago, and Dad's pool parties were casual barbecues with like 10 people, not country club events with 50 guests. And we've missed them before for other things. But never for your honeymoon, Marcus. Surely you can postpone a vacation to be here for family. This is important to me. You lied to us, Mom. You said there was an emergency. I said it was urgent, which it is. The party is Saturday, and I need you here. Everyone's expecting you. I've told everyone my son and his new wife will be there. Marcus looked at Drina, his expression a mix of disbelief and frustration. Mom, we're going on our honeymoon, as planned. Marcus Andrew Hayes, if you abandon your family for some beach trip, you will regret it. I will never forgive you for choosing her over your own mother. This isn't about choosing anyone over anyone. This is about you respecting our marriage and our plans. We'll visit after we get back. Don't bother. If you can't be here when I need you, then clearly I've raised a son who doesn't value family. Your father would be ashamed. The line went dead. Marcus stood frozen, staring at his phone. Drina moved closer, putting her hand on his arm. I'm sorry. He shook his head slowly. She invoked my dad. She actually brought my dead father into this to guilt me about her pool party. How did I not see this pattern before? Because she's your mom and you love her. That's not a bad thing, Marcus. But it's gotten toxic, hasn't it? This whole dynamic. She makes everything a crisis, uses guilt and tears to manipulate, and I just keep letting it happen. They stood there in their living room, the excitement of their upcoming honeymoon now tainted by the ugliness of Patricia's manipulation. Drina could see Marcus struggling with years of ingrained guilt and obligation, finally recognizing the unhealthy patterns that had been normalized throughout his childhood. What do we do now? Marcus asked quietly. Drina took his hand. We go to Bora Bora. We take our honeymoon. We start our marriage on our terms, not your mother's. Marcus nodded slowly, but Drina could see the worry in his eyes. She knew this wasn't over. Patricia had played her hand and lost, but women like Patricia don't give up easily. The pool party was Saturday, and Drina had a sinking feeling that Patricia's manipulation had only just begun. As if on cue, Marcus's phone started buzzing with texts. First from Patricia's friends, women Drina had briefly met at the wedding, then from distant relatives, all with variations of the same message. So sorry to hear you're missing the family gathering. Your poor mother is devastated. Patricia was mobilizing her army, painting herself as the victim of her ungrateful son. And somewhere in Arizona, at a country club pool, Drina knew Patricia was probably already rehearsing her performance for Saturday. The grieving mother, abandoned by her only son on what was supposed to be a special family day. But as Drina looked at Marcus, seeing him finally recognize his mother's toxic patterns, she felt a small spark of hope. Maybe this crisis, this fake emergency that had backfired so spectacularly, would be the catalyst they needed to finally break free from Patricia's manipulation. Their honeymoon was 3 days away, but Drina had a feeling the real battle for their marriage was just beginning. And this time, she wasn't going to let Patricia win.
That's exactly what she told me. Marcus, doesn't this feel familiar? Remember when we had to cancel our anniversary dinner last year because of her emergency that turned out to be needing help programming her new TV remote? That was different, Drina. She really was stressed about the TV thing. We had reservations at Canlis. We'd been trying to get in there for months.
Look, I know my mom can be dramatic sometimes, but what if this time it's real? What if something's seriously wrong and we're on a beach somewhere while she's what, Marcus? She won't even tell us what's supposedly wrong. There was silence on the line. Drina could hear office chatter in the background of Marcus's call. Finally, he spoke quietly. What if we just go for the weekend? Just to make sure she's okay. We could fly back Sunday night, still catch our flight Saturday morning to Tahiti. Phoenix is only a 3-hour drive from Seattle. We could rent a car Friday after work. Marcus, our flight to Tahiti leaves Saturday morning. We can't be in Phoenix Friday night and Seattle Saturday morning. Another pause. Could we maybe postpone the honeymoon? Just by a week or two. I know it's not ideal, but... Postpone? Drina's voice cracked. Marcus, we've already postponed it once. We used all our vacation days for this specific window. The resort was fully booked. We got lucky with a cancellation. If we postpone now, we lose our deposit, we lose the flights, and who knows when we'll both have time off together again. I understand that, but do you? Because from where I'm sitting, it sounds like you're ready to throw away our honeymoon based on one of your mother's vague emergencies that she refuses to specify. That's not fair, Drina. She's my mother. I can't just ignore her when she says she needs me. Drina felt tears of frustration building. This was supposed to be their time. They'd worked so hard, saved so much, planned every detail, and now Patricia was pulling the same manipulation tactics she always used, except this time the stakes were their honeymoon. Fine, Drina said, her voice tight. Call her back. Tell her we need specifics. What exactly is wrong? What doctor visit? What diagnosis? If it's really an emergency, she can give us real information. She said it's sensitive. Marcus, I'm your wife. If there's a real medical emergency in your family, I have a right to know what it is before we cancel our honeymoon. That's not unreasonable. She could hear Marcus breathing on the other end of the line. She knew this was hard for him. Patricia had raised him alone after his father's death, and the guilt buttons she'd installed ran deep. But Drina had also watched Patricia manipulate Marcus for the entire year they dated and the 6 months they'd been engaged. This felt like the same old pattern, just with higher stakes. Okay, Marcus finally said. I'll call her and ask for specifics. But, Drina, if she really needs us, we'll figure something out. But I need to know it's real first, not just another one of her dramas. After they hung up, Drina sat staring at her computer screen, the Bora Bora photos now feeling like a cruel taunt. She'd been so excited, counting down the days, imagining lazy mornings in their bungalow, sunset dinners on the beach, finally having uninterrupted time with Marcus away from work stress and family obligations. Her coworker Jasmine poked her head over the cubicle wall. You okay? You look like you're about to murder someone. My mother-in-law just called with another family emergency right before our honeymoon. Oh no, not Patricia again. What is it this time? Did she break a nail? Run out of hairspray? Despite her anger, Drina almost smiled. Jasmine had heard all the Patricia stories over the past year. She won't say, just that it's a family crisis and we need to cancel our trip to Bora Bora to fly to Phoenix this weekend. Are you kidding me? Girl, no. You've been planning this trip forever. I know. Marcus is calling her back to get actual details. Good. Because if this is another one of her fake emergencies, you need to put your foot down. You just got married 2 weeks ago. This is supposed to be your special time. Drina's phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. Called her. She says she'll explain everything this weekend. She got really upset when I pushed for details, started crying about how I don't trust her anymore. I don't know what to do. Drina felt a wave of anger so intense that she had to set the phone down. Patricia was using tears now, the ultimate weapon in her manipulation arsenal. She texted back, "We need to talk in person. Meet me at home after work." The rest of the day crawled by in a blur of anxiety and resentment.
Drina tried to focus on her work, a new campaign pitch due Monday, but her mind kept drifting to Patricia's mysterious emergency and the sinking feeling that their dream honeymoon was slipping away. When she finally got home to their small apartment in Capitol Hill, Marcus was already there, sitting on the couch with his head in his hands. He looked up when she entered, and she could see the conflict written all over his face. "She won't give me any details," he said, before Drina could even set down her bag. "Every time I ask, she starts crying and saying I've changed, that I used to care about family, that Dad would be so disappointed in how I'm treating her during her time of need." Drina sat down next to him, forcing herself to speak calmly. "Marcus, think about this logically. If there was a real medical emergency, wouldn't she tell us what it was? Wouldn't she want us to know so we could prepare or help properly? Unless it's something embarrassing or private. Private from her own son, the person she's asking to drop everything and fly across the country?" Marcus ran his hands through his hair. "I know it seems suspicious, I do, but what if I'm wrong? What if something really is seriously wrong and I chose a vacation over being there for her? It's not just a vacation, Marcus. It's our honeymoon, the time that's supposed to be about us, starting our life together." "I know that. You think I don't know that?" His voice rose slightly. "I want to go to Bora Bora. I want to spend 10 days on a beach with my wife without thinking about work or family or anything else. But she's my mother, Drina. She's alone in Arizona. Vanessa's barely helpful. If something really is wrong..." Drina felt the fight draining out of her, replaced by a deep sadness. She could see they were heading towards a decision she didn't want to make. "So what do you want to do?" Marcus looked at her, his eyes pleading. "Could we just go for one day? Friday night, drive down, check on her Saturday morning, and if it's nothing serious, we leave immediately and still catch a late flight to Tahiti. Phoenix is only a 3-hour drive from Seattle. We could rent a car Friday after work." Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now, back to the story. The next morning, Drina woke to find Marcus already awake, scrolling through his phone with a deep frown etched on his face. Sunlight streamed through their bedroom curtains, and for a moment, she'd forgotten about the previous night's drama. Then she saw his expression. "What now?" she asked, propping herself up on one elbow. Marcus turned the phone toward her. His Instagram was flooded with comments on his recent posts, their wedding photos, pictures from their first dance, even shots from their engagement. Patricia's friends had descended like a coordinated attack force. "Your poor mother is heartbroken you won't be at the gathering," read one comment from someone named Cheryl AZ. "Family should always come first, especially after all she sacrificed for you." "Such a shame when children forget who raised them," added Debbie Sun 85. "Patricia must be devastated." "I hope that wife of yours knows what she's taking you away from," wrote Brenda JP Phoenix. Drina felt her blood pressure rising. "They're commenting on our wedding photos? That's insane." There's more. Marcus switched to Facebook, where Patricia had posted a lengthy status update at 6:47 a.m. "Heartbroken this morning. After years of building family traditions, trying to keep our loved ones close after my dear husband's passing, I've been told my son won't be attending our family gathering this weekend. I understand that marriages change people, and perhaps I'm old-fashioned for believing family should matter more than beach vacations. My late husband would be so disappointed. Praying for wisdom and understanding in these difficult times." The post already had 73 comments, mostly from Patricia's circle of friends offering sympathy and subtle jabs at Drina for stealing Marcus away from his poor, grieving mother. "She's made herself the victim," Drina said, sitting up fully now. "This is psychological warfare." Marcus threw his phone onto the bed. "I can't believe she's doing this. She's literally trying to shame us into canceling our honeymoon. Should we respond, set the record straight? And say what? Actually, everyone, my mother lied about a family emergency to get us to come to her pool party? That makes us look petty, and her friends will just say we're being disrespectful." Drina grabbed her own phone and opened Instagram. Sure enough, Patricia had posted a photo of herself looking forlorn in her perfectly decorated living room, caption reading, "When you realize your only son values other things more than family traditions." Hashtag heartbroken, hashtag family first, hashtag mother's love. The comments were already rolling in with heart emojis and messages of support. Several people had tagged Marcus directly, trying to guilt him into responding. "This is actually brilliant," Drina said, though she felt anything but admiring. "She's created a narrative where she's the abandoned mother and we're the selfish newlyweds. If we defend ourselves, we look cruel. If we stay silent, we look guilty." Marcus stood up abruptly, running his hair through his hair, a nervous habit Drina had come to recognize. "What if I just call her, try to reason with her privately?" "Marcus, we tried reasoning yesterday. She hung up on you, remember? But maybe if I explain that the social media stuff is hurtful, that she's putting us in an impossible position." "She knows exactly what she's doing," Drina interrupted. "This isn't accidental collateral damage. This is a calculated strategy." Before Marcus could respond, his phone rang. He glanced at the screen and groaned. "It's Uncle Robert." Marcus's uncle was Patricia's older brother, a retired police officer who lived in Tempe and had always been protective of his widowed sister. Marcus put the phone on speaker. "Marcus, what the hell is going on?" Robert's gruff voice filled their bedroom. "Your mother just called me in tears saying you're abandoning the family." "Uncle Robert, she didn't tell you the truth." "I don't care about the details, son. What I know is your mother is upset, and that means you need to fix it. She's been through enough losing your father. The least you can do is show up for one family event." "It's not just one event. It's our honeymoon. We've had it planned for months." "Honeymoons can be rescheduled. Family can't. Your Aunt Diane and I are driving up from Tucson specifically for this gathering. Are you telling me some fancy vacation is more important than family?" Drina grabbed Marcus's hand, squeezing it supportively. She could see the guilt washing over his face, exactly what Patricia had intended. "Uncle Robert, with all due respect, this is between me and my mother. We'll work it out." "Work it out by being there Saturday, Marcus. That's how you work it out. Your mother deserves better than this." After Robert hung up, Marcus sat back down on the bed heavily. How many more calls are we going to get today? As if answering his question, Drina's own phone buzzed. A text from a number she didn't recognize. "Hi, Drina. This is Aunt Claire, your Marcus's dad's sister. Just wanted to reach out about this weekend. I understand you kids have plans, but Patricia really needs the family support right now. She's been so fragile since we lost Greg. Maybe you could consider postponing. Family is forever. Vacations come and go." "Now they're texting me directly," Drina showed Marcus the message. "How did she even get my number?" "Mom probably gave it to her. She's mobilizing everyone." Drina's phone buzzed again. This time it was her own mother, Linda, calling from Portland. "Mom, can I call you back?" "Drina Marie Rodriguez, what is happening? I just got a call from Patricia Hayes crying about how you're tearing her family apart." "She called you? Mom, that's completely inappropriate." "She said you're making Marcus choose between his mother and his wife, that you're isolating him from his family. Is that true?" "No, Mom, she literally made up a fake family emergency to get us to cancel our honeymoon for her pool party." "A pool party?" "Drina, that doesn't sound right." Patricia was sobbing. She said there was a family crisis. "There is no crisis. We talked to Marcus's sister. It's Patricia's annual country club pool party, and she's upset we won't be there because we're going on our honeymoon that's been planned since before the wedding." Linda was quiet for a moment. "Are you absolutely sure about this?" Because Patricia sounded genuinely distraught. "Mom, whose side are you on here?" "I'm not on anyone's side, but I know how important family is. Maybe you could—" "We're going on our honeymoon, Mom. This is insane." After hanging up, Drina felt tears of frustration threatening. "She called my mother. She actually called my mother to get her to pressure me." Marcus pulled her into a hug. "This is spiraling out of control." Throughout the day, the messages kept coming. Marcus's childhood friends reached out, confused about why he wasn't attending a family emergency. Patricia's church group started a prayer chain for family reconciliation. Someone even sent flowers to Patricia's house with a card reading, "Thinking of you in this difficult time," which Patricia promptly photographed and posted online with the caption, "Some people still understand the meaning of family." By lunchtime, Drina had silenced all notifications on her phone. She was at work, trying to focus on her campaign presentation, but her concentration was shot. Jasmine appeared at her cubicle with 2 cups of coffee. "Okay, Spill, you look like you're about to commit murder." Drina explained the morning's escalation. Jasmine's eyes grew wider with each detail. She's literally waging psychological warfare. This is like a masterclass in manipulation. What do I do? We can't fight back on social media without looking like the bad guys. We can't reason with her because she won't listen. And now she's got everyone from Marcus's dead father's side of the family to my own mother questioning us. Jasmine thought for a moment. What if you just went dark? Deleted social media for the week, blocked the flying monkeys, and went on your honeymoon as planned? Let them exhaust themselves shouting into the void. That feels like running away. Sometimes tactical retreat is the smartest move. Look, in a week you'll be in Bora Bora, and this will all blow over. Patricia's friends will move on to the next drama. Your real friends know the truth. Everyone else, their opinion doesn't actually matter. Drina considered this. It was tempting to just disconnect, to refuse to engage with Patricia's orchestrated campaign, but she also knew that silence could be interpreted as guilt in the court of public opinion. Her phone buzzed with yet another message, this time from Vanessa. OMG, Mom is telling everyone you're forbidding Marcus from seeing his family. She's saying you're controlling and manipulative. I tried to tell Aunt Claire the truth, but she say I'm too young to understand complex family dynamics. This is out of control. Drina showed the text to Jasmine. She's not just making herself the victim anymore. She's making me the villain. Classic narcissist move. Can't just be sad, has to have someone to blame. By the time Drina got home that evening, she found Marcus on the phone with yet another relative. His shoulders were tense and he was rubbing his temples as he spoke. Yes, Aunt Teresa, I understand. No, Drina isn't controlling. That's not what's happening. I really can't discuss this anymore. When he finally hung up, he looked exhausted. That was my dad's cousin from New Mexico. Apparently, the news has spread to extended family I haven't spoken to in years. This is insane. We need to do something. Like what? Every time we try to defend ourselves, we dig deeper. My mom has somehow convinced everyone that we're the problem. Drina paced their small living room. What if we just went? Not to the party, but to Arizona. Showed up at her house, had it out with her face to face, and miss our honeymoon? No, we'd make it quick. Leave tomorrow night after work, drive through the night, confront her Friday morning, make it absolutely clear this manipulation stops now, and then drive back and still catch our Saturday flight. Marcus looked skeptical. You really think we can drive 16 hours round trip and have a productive conversation with my mom, who's currently painting us as family-abandoning villains? I think if we don't address this directly, it's going to get worse. She's already called my mother, Marcus. My mother! How far is she going to take this? Before Marcus could respond, both their phones chimed simultaneously, a group text from Patricia, to what appeared to be every family member in her contact list. Since Marcus has made his choice clear, I want everyone to know that Saturday's gathering will go on as planned. We will celebrate family and those who actually show up for each other. Some traditions are worth keeping, even if my own son doesn't think so. I'm choosing to move forward with grace and dignity, surrounded by people who actually care. Praise hand emoji. Grace and dignity, Drina read out loud, her voice dripping with sarcasm. She's literally sent 67 messages in the past 24 hours and called it grace and dignity. Marcus's phone started ringing again. This time it was Vanessa calling via FaceTime. When he answered, his sister looked stressed. Guys, Mom just told me she's planning to have a moment of silence at the party for absent family members. She's literally going to make a public spectacle of you not being there. You're kidding, Marcus said flatly. I wish. She's also commissioned a photographer to document the event. I think to show everyone online what you're missing. And get this, she's having a special table set up with framed photos of you and Dad, like some kind of memorial to broken family bonds. Drina felt her anger reaching a boiling point. This has gone beyond manipulation. This is emotional terrorism. I've tried talking to her, Vanessa continued, but she's in full victim mode. She actually told me this morning that this is worse than when Dad died because at least then the family came together. She's completely rewritten reality. After the call ended, Drina and Marcus sat in silence, the weight of Patricia's escalating campaign crushing down on them. Their honeymoon was supposed to start in just over 48 hours, but instead of excitement, they felt dread. We have to make a decision, Drina finally said. Do we engage with this circus, or do we hold firm and deal with the fallout? Marcus looked at her with tired eyes. Part of me wants to just give in, go to the stupid party, end this nightmare. And teach her that this kind of manipulation works? That if she goes nuclear enough, we'll cave? I know, but Drina, this is destroying us. We haven't talked about anything but my mom for 2 days. Our honeymoon is supposed to be romantic and fun, and instead we're going to spend it recovering from family drama. Drina moved closer to him on the couch. Which is exactly why we can't let her win. If we give in now, this becomes the pattern for our entire marriage. Every holiday, every family event, every important moment, she'll know she can manipulate us into compliance. So what do? We call her bluff. We post one message, calm, clear, and final, saying we are going on our honeymoon as planned and we'll see everyone when we return. We then block anyone who's harassing us, delete social media apps from our phones, and we go live our lives. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Okay, let's do it. Together, they crafted a single post for Marcus's social media. Drina and I are grateful for all the love and support we've received since our wedding. We're looking forward to our honeymoon as planned, and we'll reconnect with family when we return. We ask for privacy during this time as we start our marriage. Thank you for understanding. Short, simple. No accusations, no drama, no engagement with Patricia's narrative. After posting it, Marcus deleted Facebook and Instagram from his phone. Drina did the same. They blocked the numbers of anyone who had been harassing them, including some of Patricia's more aggressive friends. There, Drina said. Now we wait for Saturday and get on that plane. But even as she said it, she knew this was far from over. Patricia had shown her hand, and it was clear she'd stop at nothing to maintain control over her son. The pool party was just the battlefield. The war for Marcus's autonomy was far bigger. As they tried to settle in for the evening to recapture some sense of normalcy before their departure, Drina couldn't shake the feeling that Patricia's next move would be even more dramatic. She'd lost the social media war, her manipulation exposed to anyone paying attention, but cornered narcissists were dangerous, and Patricia had 2 more days to escalate before they escaped to Bora Bora.
Friday morning arrived with the kind of crisp Seattle weather that usually made Drina happy. Clear skies, cool breeze, the promise of a beautiful day. But as she prepared for work, all she felt was exhaustion. Their flight to Tahiti was in less than 24 hours, and instead of last-minute packing excitement, they were dealing with the aftermath of Patricia's digital assault. 17 voicemails, Marcus announced from the kitchen, staring at his phone. I made the mistake of checking the landline messages. Drina emerged from the bedroom, pulling her hair into a ponytail. Don't listen to them. We agreed. Complete digital detox from the family drama. I know, but what if there's actually something important buried in there? Marcus, we checked with Vanessa. Everyone is fine. These are just guilt trips wrapped in concerned voices. He nodded reluctantly, setting his phone face down on the counter. They'd both called in sick to work, using precious PTO, but neither could face the office with everything going on. Instead, they planned to spend the day packing and preparing for their escape. The doorbell rang unexpectedly at 9:30 a.m. Drina and Marcus exchanged wary glances. "If that's another flower delivery with a passive-aggressive card from your mom's friends," Drina muttered. Marcus peered through the peephole and froze. "It's my Aunt Helen." "Helen? Your dad's sister from Portland?" Drina's eyebrows shot up. Helen was Patricia's opposite, quiet, practical, and notably absent from Patricia's social media dramatics. Drina had only met her twice, both times at family funerals. Marcus opened the door cautiously. Helen stood there in jeans and a practical jacket, her graying hair pulled back, holding a travel mug of coffee and looking apologetic. "I hope I'm not intruding," she said simply. "I drove up from Portland this morning. Can we talk?" They ushered her inside, and Helen settled into their armchair with the ease of someone who didn't plan to deliver a lecture. She looked around their apartment, taking in the half-packed suitcases, the wedding photos still in frames waiting to be hung. "So," Helen began, "I've been watching the circus unfold from the sidelines, and I needed to come see you both before you left for your honeymoon." Marcus tensed. "Aunt Helen, if you're here to try to convince us—" "Convince you?" Helen laughed, a dry sound. "Marcus, I'm here to apologize for my sister-in-law and tell you to get on that damn plane tomorrow." Drina blinked in surprise. Of all the family visits they anticipated, this wasn't one of them. Helen took a sip of her coffee and continued. "Patricia called me yesterday expecting me to join her little intervention squad. She gave me the whole sob story: family crisis, ungrateful son, manipulative new wife." She looked at Drina with kind eyes. "No offense, dear, but I've known Patricia for 30 years. I know her playbook." "You knew about the pool party?" Marcus asked. "Of course. She's been planning it for months, sending out invitations, coordinating with the country club. She told me back in March you two would be on your honeymoon and how inconvenient the timing was." Helen shook her head. "When she called yesterday claiming there was an emergency, I called Vanessa immediately. That girl has been dealing with Patricia's dramatics far too long." Marcus slumped onto the couch. "So everyone knows it's manipulation?" "Everyone with functioning brain cells knows it," Helen said bluntly. "The question is who's willing to call her on it. Most of Greg's family, my family, we're tired of Patricia's theatrics, but we've learned it's easier to just nod along than fight her." "That's the problem, though," Drina said, finding her voice. "If everyone just enables her—" "You're absolutely right, Drina, and that's why I'm here." Helen set down her coffee mug with purpose. "My brother Greg, Marcus, your father, he was a good man, but he spoiled Patricia. After he died, she turned her need for attention into a full-time occupation. Every minor inconvenience became a crisis. Every family gathering became a mandatory command performance." Marcus looked uncomfortable. "Aunt Helen, Dad loved Mom." "Of course he did, but love doesn't mean enabling unhealthy behavior. Greg used to joke that Patricia could make a hangnail sound like a terminal diagnosis. He found it amusing. The rest of us found it exhausting." Helen leaned forward. "Marcus, your mother has been pulling these stunts for years. Remember when you graduated college?" Marcus nodded slowly. "She said she was too sick to attend because I invited Dad's girlfriend from work instead of making her my +1. "Exactly. And when you got your first job in Seattle? She claimed she was having heart palpitations and needed me to stay in Phoenix for a month, which turned out to be anxiety because you were moving away. And when Vanessa wanted to study abroad, Mom said she couldn't handle being alone." Marcus's voice trailed off as the pattern became clearer. Helen nodded. "Patricia uses medical and emotional emergencies to control the people around her. It's not conscious malice. I genuinely think she believes her own dramatics, but that doesn't make it acceptable, and it certainly doesn't mean you should sacrifice your honeymoon." Drina felt a wave of relief wash over her. Finally, someone from Marcus's family was validating what she had been seeing all along. "Why didn't you say something before?" Marcus asked his aunt. "Because you weren't ready to hear it. You were grieving your father, trying to be the man of the family, taking care of your mother. Any criticism of Patricia would have felt like criticism of your father's choice, of your family." Helen's expression softened. "But now you're married. You have your own family with Drina. It's time to establish boundaries."
She's made me the villain on social media, Drina said quietly. She's told everyone I'm manipulative and controlling. Helen waved her hand dismissively. Patricia's Facebook friends are an echo chamber of other dramatic women looking for daily soap operas. The people who matter, your real family, your real friends, they see through it. But what about after we get back? Marcus asked. This isn't just going to go away. No, it's not, Helen agreed. Patricia will likely escalate before she accepts your boundaries. She might give you the silent treatment, play the victim harder, or find new ways to guilt you. But here's what I've learned from 30 years of dealing with her. You have to stay consistent. Every time you give in to manipulation, you teach her it works.
Uncle Robert called yesterday, Marcus mentioned. He was pretty angry. Helen snorted. Robert is Patricia's brother and her biggest enabler. He's been running interference for her bad behavior since they were children. Ignore him. And Aunt Claire? And the church group? And Marcus. Helen's voice was firm but kind. There will always be people who take Patricia's side, either because they don't know the truth or because drama is entertaining. You can't control that. What you can control is how you respond. You go on your honeymoon, you enjoy your marriage, you come back and set clear, firm boundaries with your mother. What kind of boundaries? Drina asked. For starters, no more fake emergencies. If Patricia claims there's a crisis, she needs to provide specific, verifiable information, doctors' names, diagnoses, actual emergencies. Second, no more using other people as messengers. If she has an issue with you, she speaks directly to you, not through relatives or social media. Third, respect for your marriage means respecting your joint decisions. She doesn't get to guilt trip you for living your lives. Marcus looked overwhelmed. That sounds good in theory, but actually implementing it will be hard, Helen finished. Patricia will cry, rage, play victim, and possibly cut you off temporarily. But Marcus, if you don't do this now, where does it end? When you have children, will she fake emergencies to control your parenting? When you buy a house, will she sabotage it because it's not close enough to her? When do you get to live your life? The room fell silent as they absorbed Helen's words. Drina reached for Marcus's hand, grateful they had at least one ally in this family battlefield. There's something else you should know, Helen continued, pulling out her phone. I'm not the only one who's fed up. I've been in a group chat with several family members. Your cousin David, your dad's friend Tom, even Dr. Morrison. Dr. Morrison? Drina asked, surprised. Helen smiled slightly. He's so tired of Patricia using his name to validate her dramatics. When she told people he said this family gathering was medically crucial, he nearly reported her for misrepresenting medical advice. He's actually planning to skip the pool party entirely. So people know the truth? Marcus asked, hopefully. Many do. But here's the thing. Knowing the truth and being willing to publicly contradict Patricia are two different things. Most people will just quietly distance themselves. They won't defend you because that requires confrontation, and Patricia punishes confrontation. So we're on our own, Drina said, trying not to sound bitter. Not entirely. I'll be here when you get back. So will Vanessa. And there are others who, while they might not speak up publicly, will support you privately. Helen stood, preparing to leave. The important thing is that you two support each other. Patricia will try to drive a wedge between you, making Marcus feel guilty for choosing you, making Drina feel like the outsider causing family discord. Don't let her. She hugged Marcus tightly. Your father would want you to be happy, Marcus, not trapped in your mother's drama. He'd want you to go on this honeymoon and start your marriage right. As Helen moved to hug Drina, she whispered, You're good for him. Don't let Patricia make you doubt that. After Helen left, Marcus and Drina stood in their apartment, processing the unexpected visit. The validation felt good, but it also made the situation more real. This wasn't just a temporary conflict. This was the beginning of a fundamental shift in family dynamics. Do you think she's right? Marcus asked. About all of it? About your mom's pattern? Yes. About needing boundaries? Absolutely. About it being hard? Drina squeezed his hand. Probably harder than we can imagine. Marcus's phone buzzed, an email notification he'd forgotten to silence. He glanced at it and groaned. Mom sent a mass email to the whole family about tomorrow's pool party schedule. There's literally a 30-minute slot labeled Acknowledgement of Absent Family Members? She's really going through with it, Drina marveled. The dramatic memorial moment for her son who dared to go on his honeymoon. At least we know what we're dealing with now, Marcus said, pulling Drina into a hug. Thanks to Aunt Helen, we know this is a pattern, not a one-time thing. We know some people see through it. We know we're not crazy. We also know it's going to get worse before it gets better, Drina reminded him, her voice muffled against his shoulder. Yeah, Marcus agreed. But at least we'll get better together, starting tomorrow in Bora Bora, where Patricia Hayes can't reach us. They spent the rest of the day packing, this time with a renewed sense of purpose. Every piece of clothing folded, every toiletry packed, was an act of defiance against Patricia's manipulation. They were going on their honeymoon, they were starting their marriage on their terms, and they were doing it together. As evening fell, they ordered takeout and watched mindless TV, trying to recapture some semblance of normalcy. But both of them checked their phones periodically, half expecting another family member to appear at their door or another dramatic message to break through their digital defenses. Tomorrow at this time, Drina said, curled up next to Marcus on the couch, we'll be on a plane over the Pacific Ocean, completely unreachable. Can't come soon enough, Marcus replied, kissing the top of her head. They went to bed early, exhausted from days of emotional warfare. As Drina drifted off to sleep, she thought about Helen's words. The fight wasn't over. In many ways, it was just beginning. But at least now they knew what they were fighting for. Their right to build a life together, free from Patricia's endless manipulation and manufactured crises. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Patricia's pool party, her public victim performance, probably more messages from flying monkeys. But tomorrow would also bring their escape, their honeymoon, their chance to remember why they'd gotten married in the first place. Drina fell asleep with Marcus's arm around her, listening to the quiet sounds of their Seattle apartment, trying to imagine the sound of ocean waves that would replace it tomorrow. She had no idea that Patricia had one final card to play, one that would test their resolve in ways they couldn't yet imagine. For now, she slept peacefully, counting down the hours until freedom. The real battle would begin in the morning.
The alarm went off at 3 a.m., an ungodly hour, but necessary for their 6 a.m. flight. Drina reached over to silence it, her heart already racing with a mixture of excitement and anxiety. Today was the day. In a few hours, they'd be airborne, finally escaping the drama that had consumed their lives for the past week. Marcus stirred beside her. Is it real? Are we actually doing this? We're doing this, Drina confirmed, throwing off the covers with determination. Bora Bora, here we come. They moved through their morning routine and practiced silence, brushing teeth, final outfit changes, double-checking passports and boarding passes. Drina had laid out comfortable travel clothes the night before. Leggings, a soft sweater, sneakers perfect for navigating the airport. Their suitcases waited by the door like loyal soldiers ready for deployment. At 3:47 a.m., as they were doing a final apartment check, Marcus's phone rang. They both froze, staring at the device vibrating on the kitchen counter. The screen displayed, Mom. Don't answer it, Drina said immediately. Marcus picked up the phone, his finger hovering over the decline button. What if something's actually wrong this time? Marcus, we've been through this. Aunt Helen confirmed there's no emergency. Your mom is probably just making one last attempt to stop us. The ringing continued. Marcus's face was torn, years of conditioning warring with his newfound understanding of Patricia's manipulation. If there was a real emergency, Vanessa would call you, Drina reminded him gently. Or Aunt Helen, or literally anyone else. The ringing stopped. Seconds later, a voicemail notification appeared. Marcus put the phone on speaker and played it. Patricia's voice, thick with tears, filled their kitchen.
Marcus, please, I can't believe you're really going to do this. Your father would be so ashamed. I'm having chest pains again, honey. Real ones this time. I didn't want to worry you, but Dr. Morrison said stress can trigger cardiac events, and this whole situation, I'm trying to be strong, but I don't know how much more I can take. Please, just come home. We can work this out. Don't get on that plane. Please, Marcus, I'm begging you. I'm your mother. Don't abandon me like this. The message ended. Marcus stood frozen, his face pale in the dim kitchen light. Chest pains. What if... Drina grabbed his shoulders, forcing him to look at her. Marcus, listen to me. This is manipulation. Classic. Textbook manipulation. She's tried everything else, so now she's claiming medical issues to scare you. But what if they're real? Then she should call 911, not you. We're in Seattle. She's in Scottsdale. What exactly does she expect you to do about chest pains from 1,000 miles away? Marcus pulled away, running his hands through his hair, that nervous gesture again. I should call Vanessa. Make sure Mom's actually okay. It's not even 4 a.m., Marcus. If Mom's having a medical emergency, she's not. But fine, call Vanessa. Marcus dialed his sister's number. It rang 6 times before a groggy voice answered. Marcus, what's wrong? It's the middle of the night. Van, is Mom okay? She just called me saying she's having chest pains. There was a long pause, then Vanessa's voice came back sharper, more alert. Are you kidding me right now? She's literally asleep in her room. I can hear her snoring from the hallway. You're sure? Marcus, I'm looking at her bedroom door right now. The lights are off. She went to bed at 10 p.m. after spending 3 hours on the phone coordinating today's pool party. She's fine. She's playing you. But the voicemail was probably pre-recorded yesterday during one of her dramatic moments. Marcus, please tell me you're still getting on that plane. Marcus looked at Drina, who was watching him with a mixture of sympathy and frustration. Yeah, we are. Good. Don't let her do this. She's been building up to this final guilt trip all week. I heard her practicing her chest pain speech to Aunt Debbie on the phone yesterday afternoon. She practiced it? Marcus practices all her dramatic moments. You didn't know that? Vanessa, I love her, but she's manipulative as hell. She's not sick. She's not dying. She's trying to control you. Don't let her win. After hanging up, Marcus slumped against the counter. My mom is literally staging medical emergencies? What kind of person does that? Someone who's terrified of losing control, Drina said softly. But that's not your responsibility to fix, Marcus. Not today, not like this. Marcus nodded slowly, straightening up. You're right, we need to go. If we leave now, we'll have plenty of time at the airport. They grabbed their luggage and headed for the door. As Marcus locked up behind them, Drina's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Patricia. Since my son won't answer my calls, I'm reaching out to you directly, Drina. Please, convince Marcus to come home. I'm not well. He'll regret it if something happens to me while he's on your vacation. Family should come first. His father taught him that. Don't take him away from his family. Drina showed Marcus the text, his jaw clenched. She got your number. Probably from the wedding guest list, Drina said, deleting the message. Block and move on. They climbed into their Uber, the driver a cheerful woman named Maria, who immediately picked up on their tension. Early flight? She asked as they pulled away from their apartment building. Honeymoon, Drina answered, trying to inject some enthusiasm into her voice. Oh, congratulations. Where to? Tahiti, Bora Bora, actually.
Beautiful. My daughter went there last year, said it was paradise. Maria glanced in the rearview mirror. You two don't look very excited for newlyweds heading to paradise. Marcus managed a weak smile. Just family drama. Nothing a few thousand miles of ocean won't fix. Ah, Maria said knowingly. Let me guess. Someone didn't want you to go. You could say that, Drina replied. My advice? Once you get on that plane, turn off your phones and pretend the rest of the world doesn't exist for 10 days. Family drama will still be there when you get back, but at least you'll be tan and relaxed.
As they drove through the dark Seattle streets toward the airport, Drina watched the city lights blur past. She kept waiting for something else to go wrong, for Patricia to somehow appear, for more messages to flood in, for Marcus to change his mind at the last second. Her phone buzzed again. Another text from Patricia's number. "I just want to talk to my son. Is that too much to ask? You're being cruel, Drina, keeping him from his mother. I've raised him for 28 years. You've known him for 2. Who do you think matters more?" Drina blocked the number without showing Marcus. He was staring out the window, lost in thought. She could practically see the guilt eating at him. "Hey," she said softly, taking his hand. "Whatever you're thinking, stop. What if this damages my relationship with her permanently?" "Marcus, your relationship with her is already damaged. It's been damaged by years of manipulation and guilt. This isn't about the honeymoon. This is about whether you're going to spend the rest of your life being controlled by fake emergencies. She's still my mother, and I'm your wife. We're supposed to be building a life together, not constantly managing your mother's emotional crises." Marcus squeezed her hand. "I know, you're right. It's just hard." They arrived at the airport at 4:30 a.m. The terminal was surprisingly busy with early morning travelers and red-eye arrivals. As they checked their bags and went through security, Drina kept expecting disaster, a gate change that would delay them, lost luggage, some final catastrophe courtesy of Patricia Hayes. But everything went smoothly, almost suspiciously smoothly. They found their gate and settled into uncomfortable airport chairs to wait for boarding. Marcus kept checking his phone, now flooded with messages from various family members. Screenshots of Patricia's latest Facebook post showed her in a hospital gown. Clearly an old photo, but captioned, "Sometimes we suffer in silence rather than burden our children." "She's posting old hospital photos now," Marcus showed Drina. "This is from when she had her gallbladder removed 3 years ago." "She's escalating because nothing else worked," Drina observed. "The question is, will it work?" Marcus looked at her seriously. "No, I'm getting on this plane. But Drina, I need you to understand. When we get back, this is going to be bad. Mom won't just forgive and forget." "I know. She'll probably give us the silent treatment, or turn the whole family against us, or stage some other crisis." "I know. And it's going to be hard, really hard." Drina took both his hands. "Marcus, I didn't marry you thinking it would be easy. I married you because I love you and because I believe we can handle hard things together. Your mother's manipulation is hard, but you know what's harder? Living your entire life controlled by someone else's emotional terrorism." The gate agent announced pre-boarding. Their flight was on time, departing in 30 minutes. As Marcus's phone rang again, Patricia. He declined the call and turned off his phone completely. "There," he said with finality, "no more. For the next 10 days, Patricia Hayes doesn't exist." Drina turned off her phone too. As they stood in line for boarding, surrounded by other travelers excitedly chattering about vacations and adventures, she felt the tension beginning to release from her shoulders. "Final boarding call for Seattle to Los Angeles," the gate agent announced. Their connecting flight to Tahiti would leave from LAX in 4 hours. As they handed over their boarding passes, Drina looked at Marcus. Despite everything, the drama, the manipulation, the stress, he was here. They were doing this. Together. "No turning back now," she said as they walked down the jetway. "No turning back. Just forward. To Bora Bora, to our honeymoon, to our life." They found their seats, 36C and 36D, middle and aisle, and settled in. As other passengers filed past, stowing luggage and claiming seats, Drina felt her phone vibrate in her bag. One last message had come through before she'd powered down. Against her better judgment, she checked it. A text from Aunt Helen. "Have a wonderful honeymoon. You deserve it. Don't let Patricia ruin this for you. She'll survive her pool party without you. And if she doesn't, well, at least you'll have a tan." Smiley face. Drina smiled and showed Marcus, who laughed, really laughed, for the first time in days. The plane door closed. The flight attendants began their safety demonstration. The engines rumbled to life. And as the plane pushed back from the gate, Drina felt Marcus's hand find hers. "We did it,"
he whispered. We did it. As the plane taxied toward the runway, Drina looked out the window at the Seattle skyline brightening with dawn. Somewhere in Arizona, Patricia was probably waking up, preparing for her pool party performance, already planning her next move in the ongoing battle for control over her son's life. But for now, for these 10 days, none of that mattered. They were above it all, literally, as the plane lifted off the ground, escaping into the sky, toward paradise, toward the honeymoon they'd fought so hard to take. The battle wasn't over, but at least they'd won this round. And as the plane climbed higher, leaving Seattle and all its drama behind, Drina allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, they could win the war too. Beside him, Marcus had already reclined his seat, his eyes closing with exhaustion and relief. Drina pulled out her neck pillow, settled in, and for the first time in a week, felt genuine excitement about what lay ahead. Bora Bora was waiting. Their honeymoon was finally beginning. And Patricia Hayes, for all her manipulation and manufactured crises, couldn't reach them at 35,000 feet. The war would resume when they landed back in reality, but for now, they were free.
The flight to Los Angeles passed in a blur of exhausted sleep. Marcus dozed against the window while Drina flipped through the in-flight magazine, unable to fully relax despite their escape. LAX was its usual chaotic self, a maze of terminals and security checkpoints as they transferred to their international flight. By the time they boarded the Air Tahiti Nui flight, they were running on adrenaline and airport coffee. 8 hours later, they landed in Papeete. The tropical air hit them like a warm embrace as they stepped off the plane, carrying with it the scent of flowers and ocean salt. Palm trees swayed against impossibly blue skies. For the first time in days, Drina felt her shoulders drop from their permanent position near her ears. "This is real," Marcus said, looking around in wonder. "We actually made it." Their connecting seaplane to Bora Bora left in 2 hours. They found a small cafe in the airport and ordered fruity drinks that came with tiny umbrellas. As they waited, Drina pulled out her phone, still powered off since Seattle. "Don't," Marcus warned. "Not yet. Let's have at least one day of peace." "I just want to text my mom that we landed safely. She worries." "Your mom, who Patricia manipulated into calling you?" Drina hesitated, then put the phone away. "You're right. It can wait." The seaplane ride to Bora Bora was spectacular. Turquoise lagoons dotted with tiny islands, the iconic Mount Otamanu rising from the center of the main island. Their pilot, a cheerful Tahitian man named Remy, pointed out luxury resorts and described the best snorkeling spots. For 20 minutes, they forgot about Patricia Hayes entirely. The Four Seasons Bora Bora appeared like something from a dream. Overwater bungalows stretching into crystal-clear lagoon, white sand beaches, lush tropical gardens. Their bungalow had a glass floor panel where they could watch fish swim beneath them, a private deck with steps leading directly into the water, and a massive bed draped in white gauze that looked like something from a honeymoon fantasy. "Okay," Drina breathed, dropping her bag and spinning in a circle. This was worth fighting for. Marcus wrapped his arms around her from behind. "I'm sorry we had to fight at all." "Let's make a deal," Drina turned to him. "For the next 24 hours, we don't mention your mother, the pool party, or any family drama. We just exist, here, together." Deal. They spent the afternoon in blissful ignorance, swimming in the lagoon, ordering room service that cost more than their weekly grocery budget, and watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. They made love with the sound of gentle waves beneath them, then fell asleep tangled together, finally, completely at peace. Drina woke first on Sunday morning, disoriented by the unfamiliar sounds of tropical birds and lapping water. Marcus slept peacefully beside her, his face relaxed in a way she hadn't seen in over a week. She slipped out of bed carefully, pulling on the resort's plush robe, and stepped onto their private deck. The lagoon stretched before her in impossible shades of blue. A small shark, harmless according to the resort information, glided through the shallow water near their bungalow.
In the distance, other guests were kayaking, the sun glinting off their paddles. Paradise, pure and simple. Her phone sat on the nightstand where she'd left it, still powered off since Seattle. The 24-hour agreement was technically over. She could check it now, make sure the world hadn't ended in their absence. "Don't do it," Marcus's sleepy voice came from the bed. "I can see you thinking about it." Drina turned. "I'm just standing here." "You're standing there looking at your phone like it's a cobra about to strike." He sat up, the sheet pooling around his waist. "Come back to bed. We'll order breakfast on the deck, maybe try that couples massage the resort keeps advertising." She wavered, then climbed back into bed. "You're right. Whatever's happening back home can wait." But as they ate breakfast, fresh tropical fruits, pastries that melted in their mouths, coffee that tasted like heaven, Drina couldn't shake the nagging feeling. The pool party was yesterday. Patricia's big performance. What had happened? "You're doing it again," Marcus noted, watching her push a piece of mango around her plate. "Doing what?" "That thing where you're physically here but mentally in Arizona." Drina set down her fork. "Aren't you curious about what happened at the party?" Marcus was quiet for a moment. Terrified is more accurate. "What if we just took a quick look, just to see if there were actual emergencies?" "Drina, there are no emergencies. There never were." "I know, but no buts. We promised ourselves 24 hours, which technically ended, he checked his watch, 4 hours ago, but I say we extend it. No phones until tomorrow at the earliest." They spent Sunday exploring the resort, snorkeling in the coral gardens where rainbow-colored fish darted around them, taking a boat tour around the island, dining at the resort's French restaurant where every course was a work of art. They made love talking about everything except family, their favorite moments from the wedding, future travel dreams, whether they wanted kids someday. Monday morning arrived with another perfect sunrise. They'd booked a full-day excursion to a private motu, a small island accessible only by boat. As they prepared to leave, Drina finally caved in and turned on her phone while Marcus was in the shower. The device came to life with a barrage of notifications, 73 messages, 42 missed calls, 17 voicemails. Her stomach dropped as she scrolled through the preview texts. From Jasmine. "Oh my God, call me ASAP. It's about Marcus's mom." From her own mother. "Drina, please call. This is getting out of hand." From Vanessa. "You guys need to see what happened at the party. Mom went nuclear." From unknown numbers, various messages ranging from concerned to accusatory. And then the one that made her blood cold from Aunt Helen. "I'm so sorry, kids. Patricia took things way too far. When you're ready, call me. Don't let the videos upset you too much." Videos? With trembling hands, Drina opened Facebook. Patricia's profile appeared, and the top post made her gasp audibly. Patricia was standing in what appeared to be a hospital room, a real one this time, not an old photo. She was in a wheelchair, surrounded by medical equipment, looking pale and drawn. The caption read, "When your own child's abandonment causes a genuine medical crisis. Admitted to Desert Regional Medical Center after collapsing at our family gathering. The stress of being rejected by my son was too much for my heart. Doctors say it's stress-induced cardiomyopathy, literally heartbreak, but I suppose a beach vacation is more important than a mother's health. Praying for healing, both physical and emotional. Heartbreak. #hospital. The post had 347 comments and had been shared 89 times. Marcus emerged from the bathroom, saw Drina's face, and immediately knew. "You turned on your phone." Drina voice shook. "Your mom's in the hospital!" His face went white. "What?" She showed him the post. He grabbed the phone, scrolling frantically through the messages and comments. His hands were shaking. Stress-induced cardiomyopathy. That's a real thing. Broken heart syndrome. It can be fatal. "Drina, we don't know if this is real or another manipulation." "She's in a hospital bed with medical equipment," his voice rose. "There are pictures of her with IV lines." "Which could be staged." "Drina, what if this is real? What if the stress of everything actually made her sick? What if she dies because we went on our honeymoon?" Call Vanessa, Drina said, trying to keep calm, even though her heart was racing too. Marcus dialed with shaking hands. Vanessa answered on the first ring. Oh, thank God you called. Have you seen Mom's posts? Is she really in the hospital? Marcus demanded. Yes and no. Marcus, it's complicated. Yes or no, Van. She's in the hospital, but not because she collapsed. She checked herself in yesterday after the party, claiming chest pains. They ran every test imaginable and found nothing wrong with except slightly elevated blood pressure, which the doctor attributed to her being worked up. But she refused to leave, kept insisting something was wrong. So they agreed to keep her for observation.
So she's not actually sick? No, but she's convinced everyone, including half the medical staff, that we drove her to this. She's been posting from her hospital bed, calling relatives, having visitors come by to photograph her suffering. It's a whole production. Marcus sank onto the edge of the bed. So this is another manipulation? Marcus, she literally researched broken heart syndrome online and is now claiming all the symptoms. The doctor told Aunt Helen, who actually spoke to him directly, that Mom's in perfect health but is experiencing severe anxiety, possibly a panic attack, brought on by what he called situational stress of her own making. Her own making? The doctor's exact words. Apparently, Mom's been coming to the ER for years with various complaints that never pan out medically. They know her there. Drina watched Marcus process this information. Relief and anger warred on his face. But the posts make it look like we put her in the hospital, Marcus said quietly. That's the point. She's creating a narrative where you're the villain who literally broke your mother's heart. Her Facebook friends are eating it up. There are people organizing meal trains and starting prayer circles. What about the party? What happened there? Vanessa's voice took on a bitter edge. Oh, the party. Marcus, it was a nightmare. She had this whole memorial set up for you. Photos, candles, your baby clothes displayed like you died instead of going on your honeymoon. She gave a 20-minute speech about being abandoned, crying the whole time. Dr. Morrison left after 10 minutes. Half the guests looked uncomfortable as hell. Aunt Helen actually walked out. Jesus. And here's the kicker. She had security footage from her house playing on a loop of the two of you visiting last Christmas, all happy and family-like, with captions like, "Before everything changed," and "When family still mattered." It was unhinged, Marcus, genuinely unhinged. Marcus looked like he might be sick. Drina moved closer, putting a hand on his shoulder. After the party, Vanessa continued, when people started leaving and she realized her big performance didn't magically make you appear, that's when she went to the hospital. She literally drove herself there, checked in, complaining of chest pains, and has been milking it ever since. So what do I do? Marcus asked helplessly. Nothing. You stay on your honeymoon. Aunt Helen is here, I'm here, and Mom's perfectly fine health-wise. The hospital is probably going to discharge her today since there's nothing actually wrong. This is just her next level of manipulation. After hanging up, Marcus sat in silence. Outside their bungalow, the perfect Bora Bora morning continued. Birds singing, waves lapping, couples laughing as they paddled by in kayaks. Inside, reality had crashed back in with devastating force. We should go home, Marcus said finally. What? No! Marcus, look at this. He showed more messages. People think I'm a monster. My own mother is in a hospital because of me? Because of her own manipulation. Marcus, you heard Vanessa. This is all theater. But what if it becomes real? What if the stress actually does make her sick? What if something happens while we're here? Drina felt panic rising. They'd made it to paradise, had 2 perfect days, and now Patricia was still managing to destroy it from thousands of miles away. Marcus, if we go home now, she wins. She learns that if she escalates enough, hospitalizes herself, creates enough drama, you'll always come running. What if she dies, Drina? What if my mother dies while I'm swimming in a lagoon? She's not dying. She's faking. The doctors confirmed it. But the internet doesn't know that. My extended family doesn't know that. They all think I'm the worst son in the world.
Drina grabs his face, forcing him to look at her. Marcus Hayes, listen to me. Your mother is fine. She is healthy. She checked herself into a hospital to manipulate you to come home. She's manufacturing this crisis just like she manufactured the emergency to begin with. If you go home now, you teach her that this level of manipulation works. But everyone who matters knows the truth. Vanessa knows, Aunt Helen knows, we know. The people attacking you on Facebook are Patricia's enablers who were always going to take her side. Marcus pulled away, standing up and walking to the deck. He stared out at the impossible beauty surrounding them, his shoulders tense. I can't enjoy this. Knowing she's in a hospital bed, knowing people think I'm heartless, knowing this whole mess is getting worse. How am I supposed to relax on a beach while my mother is performing for sympathy? Drina finished. Marcus, that's exactly what she wants. She wants to ruin this for us. She wants you feeling guilty every second. She wants our honeymoon destroyed, even though she can't physically be here. Well, it's working. Drina felt tears of frustration building. They'd fought so hard to get here, to escape Patricia's manipulation, and somehow she'd managed to poison our honeymoon from a hospital bed in Arizona. What do you want to do? Drina asked quietly. Marcus turned to face her, and she could see the exhaustion and defeat in his eyes. I don't know. Part of me wants to fly home right now. Part of me wants to throw my phone in the lagoon and pretend none of this exists. Part of me wants to call my mother and scream at her for what she's doing. So let's do that. Call her. Tell her exactly how you feel about this stunt. She's in a hospital, Drina. I can't yell at someone in a hospital bed. Even if they put themselves there specifically to manipulate you? Their excursion boat was due to arrive in 30 minutes. Their perfect day trip to a private island paradise was waiting, but the mood was shattered, replaced by the toxic stress that had defined the past week. Drina looked at her husband, because that's what he was, her husband of 3 weeks, and saw him drowning in guilt manufactured by a master manipulator. And she realized with sinking clarity that Patricia Hayes would always find a way to insert herself between them. Hospital beds, fake emergencies, public performances, the tactics would evolve, but the goal would remain the same: control Marcus through guilt. We need to make a decision, Drina said quietly. Right now. Either we stay and try to salvage our honeymoon knowing Patricia's drama is happening back home, or we go back, deal with it, and lose everything we paid for and planned. Marcus looked at her, then at his phone, then back at the lagoon. I hate that she's doing this. I hate that even here, 7,000 miles away, she's controlling our lives. Then don't let her. It's not that simple. It actually is. Drina stepped closer. She's fine. The doctors confirmed it. She's not dying, not sick, not in danger. She's performing. And every minute we spend agonizing over her performance, she wins. The sound of a boat motor approached, their excursion arriving. We have to decide now, Drina pressed. Stay or go.
Marcus stood on the deck of their overwater bungalow, caught between the paradise before him and the chaos erupting thousands of miles away. The sound of the approaching boat grew louder, signaling their decision time was running out. Stay, he said finally, his voice stronger than it had been moments before. We stay. Drina's relief was palpable. Are you sure? No, but I'm sure that going home now would be the biggest mistake of my life. Marcus turned to face her, determination replacing the uncertainty in his eyes. My mother put herself in that hospital bed. She researched symptoms, staged a performance, and is now leveraging it for sympathy. And you know what? I'm done being manipulated. They grabbed their beach bags and headed to meet the boat, but Marcus was different now. His jaw was set with new resolve. The private motu was everything the resort had promised. Pristine white sand, coconut palms, water so clear you could see tropical fish from shore. Their guide, a local named Tava, set up a picnic lunch and left them with snorkeling gear, promising to return in 4 hours. Alone on their private island paradise, Marcus pulled out his phone. I need to do something.
I've been reactive this whole time. It's time to be proactive." He opened Facebook and began typing. Drina watched over his shoulder as he composed a public post. "To everyone concerned about recent family events, my wife and I are on our honeymoon in Bora Bora, as planned for months. We were told there was a family emergency requiring us to cancel our trip. When we verified with other family members, we learned this emergency was a pool party. My mother's current hospitalization is concerning, but doctors have confirmed there is no medical emergency. She is experiencing anxiety and stress, which I genuinely hope resolves quickly. However, I will not be cutting short my honeymoon to address a situation that medical professionals have assured us is not life-threatening. I love my mother, but I also love my wife and our new life together. We will return as scheduled next week and address family matters then. To those sending messages of concern or criticism, I appreciate your care for my mother, but this is between our immediate family. To those who actually know and care about both Drina and me, thank you for your support. We're having a beautiful honeymoon and look forward to seeing you when we return. Comments are turned off. This is not up for discussion." "Are you really going to post that?" Drina asked, both terrified and impressed. "I have to. If I don't control the narrative, she will." Marcus hit post before he could second-guess himself. Within minutes, his phone exploded with private messages, but the public post stood firm. Comments disabled, his truth stated clearly. He then sent a direct message to Patricia through Facebook. "Mom, I know you're reading this. I love you. But what you're doing is unacceptable. The doctors have confirmed you're medically stable. I'll see you when we return from our honeymoon next Saturday. Until then, I need you to stop this campaign. If you continue posting about us, I will have to consider limiting contact for everyone's well-being. I hope you understand. Get well soon. Love, Marcus." He turned his phone off completely. Not on silent, off. "Now what?" Drina asked. "Now we have our honeymoon." Marcus grabbed the snorkeling gear. "Come on, Mrs. Hayes. Let's go see some fish." The next few days unfolded like the honeymoon they'd dreamed of. They snorkeled with manta rays, took a sunset sailing cruise, had a couple's massage overlooking the lagoon, made love with the tropical breeze drifting through their bungalow. They talked about their future, where they wanted to live, career goals, baby names for hypothetical children years down the road. Marcus's phone stayed off until Thursday morning, when he finally turned it on to check in with Vanessa. "How bad is it?" he asked when his sister answered. "Actually, it's getting better. Your post caused a nuclear meltdown initially. Mom freaked out, her friends went crazy, but then something weird happened." "What?" "People started pushing back. Aunt Helen shared your post with her own comment about patterns of manipulation. Dr. Morrison, yes, that Dr. Morrison, left a review on Mom's Facebook post saying something vague but pointed about patients who manufacture medical crises. A bunch of people who'd been quietly watching suddenly spoke up supporting you." "Seriously?" "Mom got discharged Tuesday afternoon when the hospital confirmed nothing was wrong. She came home furious, posted some rant about ungrateful children, but honestly, people are kind of over it. The comments went from, 'Poor Patricia,' to, 'maybe she should let her married son live his life.' It's wild." Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in weeks. Hope. So the tide turned? Let's just say people are seeing through the manipulation. Oh, and Mom's church friends? Apparently several of them have adult children who've dealt with similar stuff. They started a whole conversation about healthy boundaries in the comments. Mom deleted the post. After hanging up, Marcus shared the news with Drina. They were having breakfast on their deck watching small sharks circle beneath them. "She deleted it?" Drina repeated, amazed. The narrative got away from her. When you're exposed as manipulative, even your supporters start questioning. "So what happens when we go home?" Marcus was quiet for a moment, watching the lagoon shimmer in the morning sun. "We set boundaries, real ones. No more fake emergencies, no more guilt trips, no more using other people as messengers. And if she can't respect that, we limit contact." You'd really do that? Cut off your mother? Not cut off. Create distance until she can engage healthily. Aunt Helen did it for 2 years, said it was the best decision she ever made. Eventually, she realized she had to change if she wanted Helen in her life. And if Patricia doesn't change? Marcus took Drina's hand. Then we build our life without her constant drama. It would hurt, but I'm not sacrificing our marriage to manage her emotions anymore. Their final days in Bora Bora were bittersweet, beautiful and relaxing, but tinged with the knowledge they'd soon return to reality. They took hundreds of photos, bought overpriced souvenirs, and tried to memorize every detail of paradise. Saturday morning, as they packed to leave, Marcus's phone buzzed with a new message. Patricia.
I see you're coming home today. We need to talk. There are things that need to be said about respect and family loyalty. I expect you both for dinner tomorrow. 6 p.m., don't be late. Marcus showed Drina the message. She's already trying to control the narrative again. What are you going to do? He typed a response. We'll be in touch when we're ready. Recovery from travel takes time. We'll let you know when we're available to talk. She's going to lose it, Drina warned. Probably, but we're setting the terms now, not her. The journey home was long. Seaplane to Papiet, flight to LAX, connection to Seattle. They landed Sunday evening, exhausted but tanned, and somehow stronger than when they'd left. Marcus's phone had been eerily quiet. No messages from Patricia since his boundary-setting response. It was almost more unnerving than the barrage they'd expected. She's planning something, Drina said as they rode home from the airport. Maybe. Or maybe she realizes her usual tactics aren't working. They arrived at their apartment to find a package at their door. No return address, but the handwriting was Patricia's. Inside was a framed photo, Marcus as a child with his father, both smiling at a family barbecue. A note attached read, "Remember who you used to be before she changed you." Marcus stared at the photo for a long moment, then set it aside. That's not gonna work anymore. Monday morning, Marcus called his mother. Drina sat beside him for support as the phone rang. Marcus, Patricia's voice was cold, controlled. Finally decided to acknowledge your mother? Hi, Mom. We're back from our honeymoon. We need to establish some ground rules for moving forward. Ground rules? I'm your mother, not your employee. Mom, if you want a relationship with me and Drina, you need to listen. No more fake emergencies, no more guilting us through other family members, no more social media campaigns. If you have an issue with us, you talk directly to us like adults. How dare you? Those are the terms. We love you, but we won't be manipulated anymore. If you can respect our boundaries, we can have a healthy relationship. If you can't, we'll need to take some space. There was a long silence. Then, fine. Come to dinner Friday. We'll discuss this properly. We'll let you know. Goodbye, Mom. After hanging up, Marcus let out a long breath. She agreed too easily. She's regrouping, Drina observed, planning her next move. Probably, but here's the thing. I'm done playing her game. She can plan all she wants. We're living our life now. The following weeks were a roller coaster. Patricia alternated between silent treatment and sudden emotional outbursts. She'd go days without contact, then send long texts about feeling abandoned. She tried enlisting flying monkeys, but most had grown wise to her tactics. She even attempted therapy, though she spent the sessions, according to Vanessa, complaining about ungrateful children rather than examining her own behavior. But Marcus and Drina held firm. They celebrated their 1-month anniversary with dinner at a restaurant Patricia called pretentious. They planned a Christmas trip without consulting Patricia's schedule. They bought a house 45 minutes from downtown Seattle, specifically not the neighborhood near Patricia's sister where she'd been encouraging them to look. 6 months after the pool party incident, Patricia finally seemed to accept the new reality. She still had dramatic moments, still occasionally tested boundaries, but she'd learned that Marcus wouldn't come running anymore. Family dinners became monthly instead of weekly, phone calls were limited to 20 minutes, and slowly, painfully, a new relationship emerged. Not the enmeshed, codependent one Patricia wanted,
but a healthier, more balanced one. She's never going to fully change, Aunt Helen told them over coffee one Saturday. Narcissists rarely do, but she's learned you have limits, and that's something. A year after their honeymoon, Drina and Marcus returned to Bora Bora for their anniversary. As they sat on the same deck where they'd once agonized over Patricia's hospital stunt, they laughed about how dramatic it all seemed in retrospect. "Can you believe we almost came home?" Marcus marveled. "Can you believe we almost let her win?" Drina countered. They watched the sunset paint the lagoon in shades of gold and pink, the same view that had witnessed their crisis and their resolve. Patricia was thousands of miles away, probably planning some holiday drama or finding new reasons to feel victimized. But here, in paradise, she couldn't touch them. Marcus raised his coconut drink in a toast to boundaries. "To choosing us," Drina added. They clinked their coconuts together and drank to their future. A future they'd fought for. A future built on mutual support rather than guilt. A future where Patricia Hayes no longer held the power to destroy their happiness with manufactured emergencies and emotional manipulation. The battle with Patricia wasn't over. Probably never would be completely. But they'd won the war for their marriage, their economy, and their right to build a life together on their own terms. And as the Polynesian sun set over the lagoon, casting everything in golden light, they knew they'd made the right choice. The honeymoon, the boundaries, the life they were building, all of it was worth fighting for. Patricia could plan her pool parties and stage her hospital visits. They'd be too busy living their lives to attend the performances. And that, finally, was freedom.
Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hits the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.